Hey everyone, it's Kelsey. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this reaction for Bridgerton Season 3, Episode 7. And I just gotta be real. Okay, it has taken me so long to build up the motivation to film this video because this season, listen, it's weird because it's like I like this season, but it's not giving as much as the other seasons. And I think it's honestly is because Netflix's new model where they break up seasons of shows into like multiple parts just really doesn't work for me. Like, I was super excited to watch Bridgerton when the first half came out. I really liked the first half, but now, like, in between the break for the first and second half, I didn't really care, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's like I watched it like pretty soon after it came out, but it's like now I've gotten like this, we have 2 episodes left and I just like don't really care anymore. Like, I know that sounds so bad, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just I've like lost interest and it's like I have no motivation to finish this. I hate that Netflix is doing this with shows in general because it's obviously just like a money grab. Like, they're just doing it so that people don't cancel their membership, whatever. But I also think, especially for a show like Bridgerton, it doesn't make any sense and it doesn't work because this show, it's not suspenseful. You're not really on a cliffhanger. You know that by the end of the season, the main couple is going to get together and all of the issues are going to be resolved. So it's not like you left me with a cliffhanger, like if it was like Stranger Things or something where I'm like, oh, I need to see if this character is going to die. It's just not a show where the format of that makes sense, you know? And yeah, they used to do mid-season finales. I mean, they still do on like cable and stuff, but because the show started out on Netflix, I think what made the show so good and so addicting was the ability to binge it. Last episode ended with Colin seeing Penn being Lady Whistledown, and it's like that's a reveal that we've been waiting so long for, but I don't know what it is. And it's crazy because I was really excited for this couple and I really was into it in the beginning, and now I'm just like over it. Granted, it took me a really long time to watch it, and if I had binged it faster, which I easily could have done, that's on me, maybe I would feel differently. It just so happened that I just had like a lot of other videos and other stuff that I had to do before I could get back to watching this. That being said though, I'll probably really like this episode. Like, the episodes overall have been good, but I've also seen a lot of people say that this is their least favorite season, so I would be interested. Let me know in the comments what your favorite season of Bridgerton is and like what your least favorite is. Let me know what your opinions on this season are. Obviously no spoilers for the last episode because I haven't seen that yet, but I would be interested to know what you guys think.
You, a Lady Whistledown.
Colin,
Do not try to deny it. I heard you with the printer. To think I ran after you because I was worried about you, terrified that your carriage driver had abducted you to this part of town, when in truth you knew exactly what you were doing because it was you.
Damn. I mean, it's true.
All of the lies you have told me, all of the things you have written about me.
The little tear.
Something was wrong. Stupidly, I blamed myself, as if I was undeserving of your love, but you are the one that is at fault. I will never forgive you.
Damn. I gotta say, I thought that scene was gonna be longer for some reason. I thought I was gonna have more to say about it, but I don't really.
so now everyone can be focused on our upcoming nuptials. I want every eye in the ton focused on you. It will be our triumph, Penelope. Are you not excited?
Excuse me, no.
I will be reading this over there.
Benedict said, I'm gonna get the gossip.
Colin, he followed me last night.
How is his condition?
He's furious.
It sucks.
It's sweet if he will still have me, but I doubt he'll even speak to me.
I cannot help you with this, Ben.
I mean, that's fair.
Me, but already I feel in the middle between you and Colin. Perhaps I always have been.
That is not true. You are the truest friend I have ever known.
Aww.
It's torture not being by your side this season. I understand. It is my mess with Colin, not yours. Forgive me.
I wish you luck.
I mean, it's fair that she doesn't want to get in the middle, but also kind of fucked up. Shouldn't have to like reject her so readily and like spectacularly, you know? That's the worst type of mother. Mothers like Cressida's mother, who teach other girls, like teach their daughters that it's every woman for themselves. Bitch, what happened to being a girl's girl? And this is why we get mean girls. And this is the problem. And mothers like this still exist. And all they do is perpetuate the problem. And I just had to say that. I feel like this season could have been shorter. I'm going to say it. I feel like it could have been shorter. Everything is a little drawn out, and I feel like there are more storylines in this season than there needed to be. I don't think the Benedict stuff and the Francesca stuff was necessary for this season, considering that they're most likely going to get their own seasons anyways. I understand that they want to plant the seeds, but I feel like it feels like they're like whole separate, like drawn out storylines rather than just like an allusion to the next season, if that makes sense. I think those storylines could have gotten way less screen time this season, and this season probably could have been 2 episodes shorter. I said what I said. I know I'm kind of a harsh critic, but I gotta be honest about how I'm feeling, and that's how I'm feeling about this season right now. Like, I just feel like it's a little too long, you know? Like, I can't believe we still have 2 episodes left. I just, like, you know Colin and Penelope are gonna resolve everything, and listen, I understand that is how romance works. There's always, like, the third act breakup, but it just feels like it's been too drawn out. Like, this season feels like one of those romance books that's, like, 500 pages, and you're like, there is no world in which a romance book that's just romance and has, like, no other elements should be longer than, like, 350 pages. Like, why the fuck is this 500 pages? Like, not sponsored, but I was literally gonna pass out, so.
Genevieve, Colin found out.
Oh dear.
He does not know about your involvement.
Well, that is good. But how are you?
I'm relieved.
Hold on. I gotta speak on this. Low-key, alright? I love Penelope and Eloise, right? But low-key, I feel like Genevieve is the truest friend that Penelope's ever known, honestly. Because I know her and Eloise have been friends for a long time, right? And they were besties, but Genevieve stayed giving her great advice. And, like, that is a true friend that, like, doesn't just tell you what you want to hear, accepts you for you. When things go bad, they don't, like, ditch you. I hope I don't regret saying this. And how she was, like, she didn't even ask if Colin knew about her involvement. Like, Penelope volunteered the information, and she was like, alright, but, like, how are you doing? That is a true friend. Like, and she's given her some wisdom. She's like, listen, you've done some bad things. You had your reasons. I understand the reasons. It doesn't excuse it, but... And you want people around you that aren't just gonna, like, be yes men and tell you that, like, you're the best thing ever. Like, you want people who are gonna be honest with you and be like, yeah, you know, this wasn't your finest moment, and, like, this was kind of a mistake, but, like, you're still a good person. Like, you can, like, fix it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm, like, coming up with no examples, but I just feel like that's what you want in life, is people like that around you, and that is the mark of a true friend and someone who really loves you.
Does that justify it?
No. There's no going back to the past.
She's right.
All one can do is be true to one's choices and look forward.
Low-key, she's right. She's right about that. That you can't find true love until you're yourself. Yeah, I mean, I think they're well-matched as friends because that's kind of the only person who really understands what it's like to value your career so much that you put it ahead of other things. And she'd be given some good advice. But I will say, I feel like the fact that she isn't even sure if she wants to give up being Lady Whistledown and stuff, it's like, well, you should be able to do both. Something has to give, if that makes sense. And I feel like if you're actively hurting the person you're with something, you have to at least take that into consideration. And I feel like she hasn't really done that. I feel like this might be an unpopular opinion.
Do you know what is most humiliating?
I would be pissed if I was Colin. I'd be like, you have been lying to me for our entire fucking relationship, and you're gonna sit here and you're gonna accuse me of cheating? Are you serious? And doing nefarious things? Are you serious? I would be fucking pissed. The fucking audacity of you to say that. Oh, I would be pissed. I would be pissed.
I let you talk so much about my journal as if I were to be this great...
So true. Stand on business. But that's not fair. Listen, that's manipulative. I have to say, that's manipulative to sit here and be like, well, you wrote all this stuff about me. Like, don't sit here and act like you're like, oh, I just wanted you back. No, you were mad at him for what he said about you. And now you're trying to manipulate him and act like it was an act of love. Listen, the argument can be made that she was trying to protect him from Miss Thompson. That I get. But you weren't like, oh, I miss the old Colin. You were just sad that he was mad at you. And I feel like that's manipulative anyways. Be like, you did this terrible thing and you hurt me. It's like, well, you changed. They always hit you. They always hit you with the you changed. I feel like that's what gaslighters do. That's what manipulative gaslighters do. Like, oh, you changed. It's your fault. I just wanted you to go back to the way you were. Like, fuck off. People change, bro.
I love you.
Damn. That's kind of wild. But she already told him she loved him earlier. So why is this supposed to be a shocking thing? Okay, listen. This I don't understand. She literally said, I love you, already, in this episode to him, in the room. And now she's like saying, Colin, I love you, and they're acting like it's the first fucking time she said it. I'm so confused. This would make sense if it was genuinely the first time she had said it on screen, but it isn't. So why are they acting like it's this big moment? This whole like kiss and make up after I say I love you thing only works if it's like a feelings reveal. And this is not a reveal. This is not shocking. We already knew this. Y'all, I'm roasting the fuck out of this fucking episode. But I just don't buy it. And now they're chill? Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. This doesn't make any sense. I'm like so confused. Did I hallucinate? I feel gaslit. Did I hallucinate, or did she not tell him that she loved him already in this episode? Y'all, I'm terrified that Colin's gonna leave her at the altar. My secondhand embarrassment, I can't do it. I can't handle stuff like that. I'm literally terrified. But I must say, Kate and Anthony are easily the cutest Bridgerton couple, hands down. Hands down. It's a treat whenever they're on screen. I know the actress wasn't coming back, but it's crazy that Daphne isn't here for this. Like, you couldn't come back for one scene. I'm horrified. I'm scared. It's kind of a sad song, isn't it? Maybe it just makes me sad. Because it's emotional. And it was all yellow. I love the arches at this wedding. Slay. I like that the Bridgerton colors are purple and blue. I don't know why. I just think the colors look very pretty. Is she gonna leave him? Oh my god, you better walk down the aisle. Are you... Okay, good. I was gonna say. She does look very pretty. But I can't lull myself into a false sense of security because I'm really scared about what's gonna happen. Oh, Eloise looks happy.
We are gathered here in the sight
today.
of God and this congregation to join together this man.
Y'all, I'm really scared because they're not gonna get married, right?
Have this woman to be thy wedded wife.
He's gonna say I do, and she's gonna be like, I don't.
State of matrimony.
Oh my God.
Wilt
Oh
thou
my God.
forsake
I can't.
all others, keeping the only
I, Colin
Oh my
Bridgerton,
God. Oh my God.
take
I'm
thee,
so scared.
And by the joining of hands, I now pronounce that they be man and wife together, in the name
really
of the
doing
Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Oh wow. I really thought that there was gonna be some dramatic, someone leaving them at the altar, someone objecting. Aw. I think he's great. And the other sister coming. They are a beautiful couple. But I'm really shocked because I really, really, really was convinced that someone was gonna run away or that there was gonna be like an objection. Yo, Loki would have slapped if the queen came and was like, I object. Instrumental Taylor Swift. They kind of killed that. This is really cute though. And instrumental Regency You Belong With Me. It ate.
Her Majesty the Queen.
Uh-oh, the queen's here. Everyone has something to hide in this room. Benedict just isn't there. That's hilarious. Alright, that was a good place to end it, and I'm glad that Cressida is still having like a role in this season, but I also feel like I stand by what I said, that I feel like this season could have been shorter. I feel like it's way too dragged out. Like, I feel like we've done this whole reveal like 30,000 times already. I don't know. I'm surprised that they actually got married. Like I already said, I thought that they were going to wait until episode 8 to do that. And I'm like, okay, what's episode 8 going to be about then? It's just going to be... I mean, I guess it's just going to be about the rest of the people finding out that she's Lady Whistledown. But I'm like, what else is going to happen? It'll be interesting to see what happens in that episode. And then, like, I know Benedict's season is next, so I'm very interested to see where that's going to go. I don't know why they're treating him being bisexual and kissing a man as like a revelation, because didn't he like literally fully have sex with a man in season 1? Or did I make that up? Like, the show, I feel like this show's gaslighting me, because I'm like, so much of this stuff, I'm like, this is not a shock, so why are we treating it like it's this big reveal? Like, we've known Benedict was fruity. I don't understand why it's supposed to be shocking. Also, I really, really hate the assumption and the prediction, not the prediction, but it's like in the media, it's like every bisexual person suddenly has to be in a throuple, and I really hate that is such a common thing, because it's just not true. And it's just like, it just makes it seem like people are fetishing it, if that makes sense. Like, and I just hate, it's just happened in so many shows that I've watched, and I'm just like, why does it need to happen every single time? Like, just because you like more than one gender doesn't mean that you want to date them all at the same time. Doesn't automatically mean that you're not monogamous, you know? I don't know. And it just kind of annoys me, because I just think it furthers the stereotype that, like, bisexual people are just, like, confused and experimenting and, like, they're just hoes. And I don't think that's true. And I'm just like, why is this still the way we're depicting it in the media, you know? I don't understand where they're going with this in the next season, and if it's just gonna be Benedict's like love story with this woman, I feel like we've been there, done that. Like, what love story? There's no story to be told. I feel like the story's already occurred, and that is, I think, my big issue with this season is I feel like they went too deep into all of these other stories, and I understand that they need to set up the threads for the future, but I feel like they didn't leave anything to the imagination. And not that it's that shocking, because we know that, like, at the end, like, you know, they're gonna be happily ever after with their various love interests, yada yada yada. But I'm just like, I feel like this season, it was like we had Francesca's storyline, and then we had Benedict's storyline, and it's like so much of that is occurring, and I feel like, well, what's left, you know? Granted, there's another episode, but I think part 1 is infinitely better than part 2. I think splitting it up into 2 parts was a mistake, and I think it could have easily been 6 episodes instead of 8. It very much feels like they just squeezed more stuff in so that they could make it 8 episodes. It doesn't feel like they actually had 8 episodes worth of content that made sense. It feels like they just were sticking stuff in there so that they could, like, fill their, like, episode quota. And it's like, thinking about it now, part 1 feels so detached from part 2, which is crazy because it's the same season. But I stand by what I said, that I don't think splitting it up into 2 parts makes sense for this type of show. I hate that they're doing it in general, because you're not cable, you're a streaming service, and you know that they're just doing it because they are trying to basically force us to go back to cable and make you have to pay for each individual channel, and you're going to end up having to pay more in the long run. And now they're shoving commercials back down our throats again, and I just hate that on principle. But I also just think it's stupid, because I don't know about you, but I get bored. Like, there's so many shows that are in 2 parts, I'm like, I'm just not even gonna bother watching them, or I'm not even gonna bother watching part 2, because I just get bored waiting for part 2. Like, I just don't care. And it's like, nowadays, I feel like a lot of people have short attention spans, and it's like, I would rather just watch something that I can binge, or, like, watch YouTube. Like, I don't need to wait for this. If I wanted to, like, wait for a show like this, I would watch something on cable, and with this show, it doesn't make sense. But that's my little rant about it. I don't really need to go on a rant for that much longer about it. I would say this is the weakest episode of the season, in my opinion, and I feel like I have shat on this episode so much, and I have, like, rashed on this episode. I don't know if I'm just a hater, or if I'm just in a bad mood today, or what's going on, but I didn't like this episode as much as the other episodes, and I genuinely think because this season just feels so long. Like, I really just feel like it could have been 2 episodes shorter. I really do. Like, and I think that's my issue, and it's like, it's so long that I'm getting, like, sick of it. Then again, I don't know if that's because I'm filming a reaction to it, so it's like I watch it and I film it, and then I have to, like, watch it again to, like, edit it. So granted, maybe that's why, but I don't know. I just think this season could have been shorter, and I'm just getting bored, because I just feel like it's been being dragged out, and we could have wrapped this up, like, episodes ago, you know? I'm kind of a hater, I guess, for this episode. I kind of feel bad. I love when I have positive things to say about things, and I hate rashing things, because, like, I'm not trying to be a hater, but I don't want to sit here and lie and be like, I loved this episode. Genuinely, I have pretty much I've liked every episode up until this point. Like, everything I've said about all the other episodes was true, and I think the first half of the season was really strong, and I really liked, I think it was episode 5, the, like, TikTok episode, where, like, Eloise is kind of, like, pressuring Penelope. I really liked that episode, and then it's gotten to the point where it's like, everything that was good and strong about this season, I feel like, is kind of over, and it feels wrapped up, so it's like, I don't feel like there needs to be another episode. So this is definitely my least favorite episode of the whole season, which is crazy, because this is the wedding episode, but I feel like all this stuff has been resolved, like, and I feel like the wedding should have been in the last episode, and also their, like, I love you kissing scene. I feel like we've been there, done that already. Like, she said she loved him in the beginning of the episode, and he didn't react to that at all. Well, he reacted a little bit, but he didn't react to it in the same way, and then suddenly she says it later, and that's all she needed to say for everything to be fine. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why have her say I love you earlier in the episode if you were gonna make it into this big scene, you know? It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. The writing in this episode just seems kind of all over the place for me, and again, I just feel like they needed content. Like, I feel like they were just really trying to extend it to hit that 8 episode mark. That's my opinion. I'm sorry that I was a little bit of a hater for this episode, but I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. I think a lot of people are going to agree with me. I've deliberately not clicked on things, but I have seen people say, like, obviously I've seen, like, thumbnails and video titles, and I've seen people say that they did not like this season. It's their least favorite season. And I've seen a lot of people say that part 2 isn't good, and a lot of people have very valid, what I'm assuming are valid complaints now that I'm, like, a little bit more through Part 2, like I said, I have not watched any of those complaints, but I've seen quite a few like videos where the title and the topic of the video is like commentary on what's wrong with Part 2. So I think everyone's kind of in agreement that Part 1 was really strong and Part 2 was a flop. But again, we still have another episode. Maybe I'll change my mind. I'm really interested to see how it wraps up and then to hear my own thoughts. That's a crazy statement, but I am interested to hear my own thoughts on what I think could have been better about this season and what I think was done well once I reached the end. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below and be sure to subscribe for more content. It makes me very happy, helps my channel a lot. And comment down below what you thought of this episode. Let me know, without spoiling the last episode, what you think of the season as a whole. If you agree with me that Part 1 was good and Part 2 was bad, or vice versa, I'd love to know. And I'll see you guys on Friday with another video. Later, Gators. Bye.